Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another update. Haven't seen any doctors since my last video, but that's okay. I just feel like I wanted to do a little philosophizing, which is what I enjoy doing. And my situation makes me very prone to philosophy, I guess. Just because, we all have stuff in our lives that force us to evaluate and think and plan and take stock. But there's been a lot of kind of really big issues on my radar. And I wouldn't say they are issues that are administrative or technical. It's more, again, philosophical. As I try to put things into their proper perspectives. And I'm probably going to title this video something on the order of the long view or the big picture or the long game, something like that, just because this evening, what's on my mind is just the fact that everything that I have been going through for more than 2.5 years now, but I guess more recently, just in the last 3 or 4 months since I've been on this latest cycle of treatment, or this latest round of treatment, just has caused me to look at things from a lot of different angles. And I've said it before, I'm going to adjust this camera slightly. It's one of the things that's really great about cancer, not only cancer, but I think anybody that's dealing with a disease or a life situation where you become very aware of your mortality and the temporal nature of your existence. It causes you, we all deal with it differently. Some people go into denial. Some people go into anger mode or resentment or bitterness, or some people just give up, and some people just fight. And, fighting is a great thing, but sometimes I wonder if fighting can be a form of denial, because I know for me, these last few months with this latest treatment barrage and the side effects that have been so debilitating for me. Again, most of you that follow along know what I'm talking about. My hands, my fingers. I have felt completely disabled the last maybe 6 weeks or so. Basically, April and thus far in May, I feel handicapped because of my fingers and the fact that every single thing I do hurts. And anyway, those things cause you to evaluate what's important to you, what is just important in general. Like when I wake up in the morning, I think, what is this day really about? What is coming up today that really matters, that's really important, versus what are just the mechanics of life that I have to get through to survive. And you sort of realize that so many things in life are just things that it has to do with routine, and it has to do with familiarity and what you're used to and what you want. I've had some interesting conversations with family members and close friends recently just about, I am a little bit of a savant. No, savant's not the right word. Rain Man. I love routine and I love order and I love for things to be like this. I keep to-do lists. I have almost a to-the-minute routine when I get up in the morning as far as when do I hit the button on the coffee machine? When do I deal with my stoma? When do I open up my laptop? When do I start typing and journaling? When is it time to have a little bite to eat in advance of my first medicines? When is it time to turn on the local news to see the traffic and a quick bit of the weather? when is it time to get on my laptop and go through all of my meteorological stuff? That's a different story. But all of the stuff that I look at weather-wise, because I'm a meteorologist, and even though I haven't been a practicing meteorologist in many years, it's still ingrained in me. I get on and I start looking at models and satellites and surface analysis and upper air charts. It's automatic. So anyway, the point is, because of what's happened with my hands and my fingers, I haven't been able to do all the things that I normally want to do. And a lot of it does have to do with phone and laptop, because it's very hard for me to type. It's hard for me to swipe. It's hard for me to text and email. I do it, but even my journaling, I have started to do audio dictation, voice dictation, because it hurts too much to do my normal 1.5 or 2 pages of journaling on my keyboard. So I've been doing it as a voice memo, which isn't the same thing, I'll tell you, because I love to write, I love to type, I love the pauses that happen, as I'm thinking through what I want to process via my fingers, via the keyboard. I'm already rambling a lot, and I realize that that's what this video is going to be. Some of my videos are very informational. Some of them are very status report oriented. As you can already tell, 6.5 minutes in, this is a philosophical video. So I just felt like turning on the camera and just talking a little bit about where I'm at in my head, my heart. I'm trying as hard as I can to balance the fact that I need to be on treatment for the rest of my life with stage 4 metastatic colon cancer. Even if somehow by a miracle I end up NED, which means no evidence of disease at some point, and I've flirted with that a little bit in the last 1.5 years or so, where my scans have shown very little, if any, active, dynamic disease. But, miracles happen. And I'm not trying to say that I can't be shocked and surprised by a miracle. New treatments emerge. But even there, we get back around to what I was saying, is that for the rest of my natural life in this physical body, I am going to be under surveillance, and I'm going to be on some kind of treatment. And those treatments are going to come with side effects, some of which are going to be very difficult to deal with. And again, the long view, the big picture, the long game. What is important? What are my priorities? And I'm really having to think about that. It's like, is my routine the priority? I'm still working. I teach online. I have students online that I've been doing that ever since I got back from India in 2000 when COVID hit, and I wasn't able to return to my teaching in India. I have online students that I teach practical, advanced English, professional style English. Those students are all over the world, and I still, several hours a week, I meet those students, and I try to maintain that schedule because it's good for me to have routine. I also have had some house sitting and pet sitting clients locally, family, friends, and friends of friends who know that if I'm free and I'm available, I can look after their property and their beasts while they are gone. And I appreciate that. So also I have my parents that, are aging, and they have situations where, there's been a period the last 6 or 8 months where both my parents were in a dependent state during certain periods, and I was doing a lot to help them out, grocery shopping, just basic, household functions and things like that. So So anyway, what I'm saying is there's basic routine stuff that involves a little bit of work and engagement and involvement, some responsibility. It's not like I'm completely without responsibilities, and I wouldn't want to be. But again, that's something I'm constantly evaluating. As I deal with the side effects of treatment, there are days when I feel like absolute crap, and I don't want to have a schedule, and I don't want to have to present myself. I can barely wash my face and wash my hair and take care of my stoma bag on certain days. And yet, I have to evaluate, okay, what's important? Do I take care of me, or do I meet my responsibilities and my obligations? You guys know I'm not married. I don't have kids. There are a lot of people with cancer who have way bigger burdens to bear than I have. I have other issues that are also challenging. For example, this is a whole different topic, but a lot of people say, oh, it's so easy, you're single. Well, you know what? When I'm single, I don't have anybody to scratch my back. I don't have anybody to put lotions and moisturizers on my back. That's a very simple thing. But when you're married or you have a partner, you do have that help meet. I don't have that. So some people say, oh, it must be rough. You're sick. You have a disease, but at least you're single and you don't have to worry about a family. Okay, that is true. But at the same time, I don't have a permanent helper. And that's not to minimize my family members who I've talked about this many times. My brothers, my sisters-in-law, my parents. I've got a close circle of very intimate, cherished friends who help me. So I'm not saying that I don't have anybody to help me and that I'm just dangling out here by myself. But at the same time, I'm saying that being a single person with stage 4 cancer has certain detrimental issues that sort of at least partially balance out the fact that I don't have a wife and children to take and a household of my own to take care of. So, do you see what I mean? When I get into these philosophical conversations, they can go all over the place. So, okay, the big picture, the long game. What is it? What's important? My relationship with God, the peace of my own heart and soul and spirit with regard to eternity, and my relationship to myself as a human being and my eternal life, whatever that's going to be. I'm a man of faith. I have always had a relationship with God. I am a Christian, which means my faith is in Jesus Christ. That is the foundation. And I think about that so often. Even my journaling in the morning, it's basically prayer. The anchor and center of my life is my identity as an eternal creature, an eternal soul, an eternal spirit in relationship with the God of the universe. And some people don't understand that. They've rejected that. They think that's fairy tales and, child's play. That's okay. I've read Richard Dawkins. I'm not somebody who's afraid to talk about the other side of the argument. That's fine. But I have chosen at age 60, all the challenges that I've been through in my life, I have chosen to place my faith and my trust in an eternal presence. I can't prove it, but neither can you. Nobody can prove their life philosophy. We don't know. But it's what I've chosen to build my house on. So, boy, am I ever rambling. And now we're at 15 minutes. Okay, this has been one of those videos where I'm just sort of doing my stream of consciousness about the stuff that's in my mind and on my heart. And I'm happy to be able to share it with you guys who walk with me and check in on my videos. Again, there's some of you, I get texts or messages from you, and it just makes me laugh and cry at the same time. There's people out there, you know who you are. You talk about how you sit around and you wait for my next video. And I appreciate that so much. Some of you I have had like very deep relationships with in previous eras of my life. And we have sat and talked and wrestled with the questions of life. I'm so grateful for that. Whether you're in Kansas or Arkansas or Hawaii or India or Thailand, you know who you all are. I love you so much because I just know you're always there. And our relationships are not dependent on who calls who or who reaches out to who. We have this balance of communication that has evolved over decades, and we know we're there. And again, you guys know exactly who you are, and I hope you know how much I love you and appreciate you, and how much you have meant to me, and how much you have contributed to my life. So anyway, I'll wrap it up there, and that's the philosophy for the day. And maybe next time it'll be more about medical terminology. I'll see you later.